afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of sports. The 29th edition will be live again from the original podcast room with the black and gold paraphernalia. Today we will get into the Pittsburgh Pirates, continue to battle for a National League wildcard spot. 2 straight comeback wins, and last night's being a signature one for GM Ben Cherington to help out at the trade deadline for some much-needed bats. The Pirates are in this, so it's up to management to make this come forth. What actually is this I'm saying? Bucktober, playoff baseball in the bird. Ben Cherington, it's your move. Andrew McCutcheon enters his name in Pirates history once again. Just wait and listen to how crazy this accomplishment is. Former Pirates manager Jim Leland had his 2024 induction and speech for the Baseball Hall of Fame. The speech was a grand slam home run, but the ending was for all baseball fans. In my opinion, for us Pirate fans. I will read it to you, and Bucco fans, you can decide for yourselves. The Pittsburgh Steelers completed their first week of training camp Sunday without pads. Starting week 2 today with pads, Russell Wilson has dressed for the practices, but is being hampered by a calf muscle injury, thus leaving Justin Fields with all the first-team reps. Seeing certain depth charts have QB1 next to Fields' name. Are we witnessing a training camp quarterback battle? Change my camp battle to watch as I head out to training camp Thursday at St. Vincent's College in Latrobe. Stay tuned for this unexpected camp battle. I will have some interesting notes from week 1 and possible Steeler injury watch from today. As it goes every year, key injury before we even get to game 1 of the season. As we wait the signing of Pittsburgh Penguins captain Sidney Crosby to finish his career in Pittsburgh, I went back and looked up any possible records he can accomplish. I will give them all to you today so we can track them coming up in the 24-25 Pittsburgh Penguins season. Steel City, Pittsburgh, please come join me around police on my 29th episode, 8th live of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. How's everybody doing today? This is the 29th episode, and we'll be getting into Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, and maybe something at the end if there's enough time I want to talk about. But once again, this wouldn't be happening. IE Sports Radio for the last 10 years. IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com. For sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame. Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum. And stop by the shop. Check out the merch. Maybe there's something there you'll find to your liking. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And as I always say, thank you for listening. And once again, if you cannot catch up any of the shows, you can catch them on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, GeoSavan, YouTube, and any other podcast outlets you could find. You can follow me at the Yinzer Report, IE_IE, and on X Twitter also at KhalisR786. All right, so now let's get into our sponsors. Very important. Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. Very important sponsors to us. Let's get to them. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
All right, welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Ralph DeLeese. And in those sponsors that we played there, I always find it interesting about Planet Beef Jerky that they were the Lake Elsinore Storm Single A affiliate champions of the San Diego Padres in 2022. I actually looked that up. That's true. And don't forget, of course, our lovely Cecilia B with her Seal the Deal wax seals. Great for any types of things you have coming up, weddings, whatever you may need, a nice little stamp on your envelopes to make look good. All right, so that's for the sponsors, and let's get into some Pittsburgh sports, and we'll start with the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are on a 2-game winning streak. Both these games were comeback wins, and yesterday's win versus the Astros with Paul Skeens pitching, they saved him a loss because he left the game. It was 2-1, but they beat the Astros 5-3 in 10 innings. They tied the game up late, and they hit a 2-run homer. Michael Taylor hit a 2-run homer off Hader, the closer for the Astros, and it was a crazy scene in Houston for the Pirates. So they're riding the high of those 2 comeback wins, and despite the week that's been going on with them. Of course, they finished up in Pittsburgh last week. They went on a road trip. They started in Arizona. They lost the first 2 in Arizona. They got beat badly. And then Sunday, they came back and they won that game. They were losing 2-1. They came back and they lost that game. They won that game. I'm sorry. Mitch Keller went and pitched a great game, came back in, and they tied the game. And I think in the 8th inning, Joey Bart, they call it a Bart Dart. He hit a double up the gap, tied the game up. And then it was another wild game in extra innings. It was 6-2. They were winning 6-2, and they held on just at the end, 6-5 to win the game. So they got these 2 games. They came back. They're 54-52. They're still 2 games out of the last wild card spot, but they need help. They need help. And like I said at the beginning, I think yesterday's win was a signature win towards Ben Cherington because he needs to help this team out. It's the trade deadline is today at 6:00. So I'm on the air between 5 and 6 with the trade deadline. If you see me looking around, I'm trying to look at things to see if a trade is being made. or if anybody out there wants to help me out, throw it up in the chat if they made a trade, because nothing has been done yet. And Ben Cherington, man, you have to make this work for this team. They're playing their hearts out. They're battling their hearts out. They played this week without their best player, Brian Reynolds, their all-star. He's on a bereavement list. He hasn't come back yet. And they suffered an injury to Rowdy Tellez earlier in the week, but he's then come back. And their young rookie second baseman, Nick Gonzalez, also went out with an injury this week. They did make a trade for a AAA minor leaguer the other day. His name is Nick York. He was from the Red Sox. And they traded a relief pitcher who was pretty good for the Pirates, Quinn Priester. He came in every now and then. I mean, he wasn't big, but he was a mop-up guy, and he's pretty good. But Nick York at 310 in AAA, and you would think he would have been the trade for Nick Gonzalez to come and play. And Cherington said today or yesterday that he's going to play in the minors a couple of weeks before he comes up. You need the guy. Give him a chance. That's why you traded for him. So let's talk about Ben Cherington, the GM of the Pirates, as the trading deadline came closer. Are you going to help us or are you not? And here's some things he said on the Pirates trade deadline coming up. He said, 1, you have to be comfortable saying no. I mean, the only thing I can think about that is that he don't want to get raked over the coals. But the Pirates do have a good farm system, and they do have some good prospects out there. If you need a hitter to get, and I feel if you have to give up one of them, at least for the guy, give it up, because there's been talk about Yandy Diaz from Tampa Bay. And I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger or not, but that was the first thing he said that was alarming. The next one was, on coming close to make a trade, we have not found a match that makes sense. All right. That don't sound good neither. And then he said, on a trade or trades in general, our approach at the deadline is to find a way to improve the Pirates in total, not for a specific year. Ben, what are you telling us, man? You're telling us that you don't want to make a trade? Oof, I don't know. Well, I wrote this down. Doing nothing isn't making it better either. Is waving the white flag right here? The Pirate fans are going to start firing. They're going to start the chant, fire Ben Cherington when they get back to Pittsburgh if nothing big is done. I could see that coming. Pirate fan base does not deserve this. The Pirate fans have had enough of the next year talk. It's always, wait till next year. Wait till next year. Next year never comes. And when you have the Buccos Big Three, as mentioned here on the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, that's Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, and Paul Skeens, they're pitching at their elitist levels, and you have to add to the offense. We don't want to hear management talking about financial flexibility, because they have a lot of it being 29th in the MLB payroll. So you just got to do something. A reminder that the wait till next year comment, guys, we have not been close to contending for almost 10 years. That's 10 years, guys, 10 years. So Ben Cherington, the flag is up for you on the deck, on the Pirates deck, to please do something before 6 p.m. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so now let's get into Jim Leyland. He was a former manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he had a Hall of Fame induction and speech. I believe it was a week ago. And I'm going to read this to you. I don't know, it's a little emotional to me because I feel part of it, of what he was saying. So as I read it, you guys listen and you let me know what you think about it. In my opinion, I think he was talking about us Pirate fans in the end. And here it goes. I'll read to what he said. So this was at the end of a speech that just was amazing from the start. And this was towards the end. And he said, in closing, I would like to say this to the fans: no matter which Hall of Famer you are here to support today or which team you cheer for, your presence has always been felt on your feet in the ninth inning with the home team clinging to a one-run lead turning on your television for the first game of the World Series and seeing 50,000 fans waving towels, hoping and praying that this may be their year, or any little boy or girl getting their first autograph and scurrying back to the stands to show mom and dad their latest treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that's you. That's baseball. And this is the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. I'll tell you, when I heard this, that's me. You guys know me with my memorabilia. And I remember the first time I took my son to a game, he actually got an autograph, and he did exactly what Jim Leland said. He ran back to me, so happy, so glad, like, wow, this is great. And you know, baseball is America's game. And, you know, you teach your kids young about baseball. That's probably the first sport you teach them. And it was great. But that part in there where he said 50,000 fans waving towels, I think he's talking about us, Pittsburgh. I really do. That was just a great ending speech by Jim Leland. And God bless Jim Leland. Congratulations to him in the Hall of Fame. I did a show on him way back when he first got elected into the Hall of Fame, and this was well deserving in my eyes. All right, so Andrew McCutchen, he hit another milestone for the Pirates. So this was I deem this Andrew McCutchen's milestone hit for number 22. That's his uniform number. McCutchen now has 1,691 career hits in a Pittsburgh Pirate uniform, the 10th most all-time in team history. Now listen to how crazy this accomplishes. The order of this, the Pirates team history top 10 hit list hasn't changed since Willie Stargell passed Bill Mazeroski in September of 1978. Now, Bill Mazeroski was an old-time player. I showed you guys an autograph I got of him on one of his cards, but he's an old Pirate. The Pirates have had the same top 10 for nearly 46 full years till now. McCutchen is now 8th. He moved past both of them between Stargell. I'm sorry, he moved past one of them between Stargell and Mazeroski. So he's actually 9th. But a great accomplishment by our Andrew McCutchen, and hopefully he sticks around and he continues to do. He gets higher, But that is some accomplishment there. All right, so let me give you my daily Paul Skeens update. As you know, here we favor to our player Paul Skeens. So I'll give you his. He suffered his first loss of the season, guys. He suffered his first loss of the season last week versus the Cardinals. He actually pitched into the 9th inning, first time in his career. He gave up a run in the 9th inning versus the Cardinals, and it was his longest outing of his MLB career. And when they took him out, what do you think the Pittsburgh fans did? Standing ovation, which he deserves. He gave up 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, 104 pitches, 78 strikes, 11 whiffs, swings and misses. He finished that game with a 1.93 ERA, still the best in the majors. First pitch strikes out of 23 out of 26 batters. And my new favorite stat people, OptaStats, they said he recorded 25 outs allowed, is that fewer than 5 hits, walked nobody, struck out 8. No other MLB rookie in the modern era of all MLB has yet to do that and suffered a loss. So the poor guy suffered a loss, and he was still he's still accumulating records. He's just unbelievable. And then again, last night he was on the verge of losing the game. It was 2-1, like I said, and they tied it up for him. So they got the loss out of his way. He only pitched 6 innings. He faced a very tough Astros lineup last night. I think it's probably the best professional lineup he's faced all year so far since he came up. And he had 6 strikeouts on 101 pitches, and he left in, like I said, in jeopardy of losing his 2nd game in a row. Excuse me. But he lowered his ERA to 1.90. So he lowered it even more, even though he didn't get a win or anything. And he got his 100th major league career strikeout, and he's done that in 77 6 innings. Just unbelievable. All right, so that's it for the baseball. Let's check the chat. Let me see if any trades have been coming. I don't think anything has come out yet. We have in the chat today, we have Danny Mann, yeet. Danny, I got to get you hooked onto the wrestling show with Martine, buddy. Great show. Terran, good evening. Ralph, have an amazing show. Thank you, sir. Our new hiree, Brandon. What's up, my man? Have a great show. Thank you. Jen B, who follows the Yinzer Report next. Hey, Ralph, hope you're having a great show. Yes. Hey, my nephew, James, is getting married in 2 weeks. What's up, buddy? I can't wait for the wedding. Always Arizona sports, Pirates trading. Oh, there you go. There's the update. All right, so hold on. We got a little update here from the chat. And thank you very much to Always Arizona Sports. Pirates trading for Brian De La Cruz. Okay, I believe he's from Miami. Yes. All right, there you go. Ben Sherrington, did you hear my message? Did you just make that trade? Well, that's great. If they got Brian De La Cruz, yes. Jen B posts haven't seen any trades for the Pirates. Oh, all right, so we got to look into that. All right, we'll look into that. Mr. Cowboy, hey, how you doing, Mr. Cowboy? How are you? All right, so let's take a quick break. I'll check my side here, see if I got anything. And when we get back, we're going to get into Steelers training camp. All right, this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And yes, hey, Larry B, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hey, Larry B, thank you for producing the show, buddy. You're great. I love you, bro. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide through your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for sports, man. You got to catch Bernie Bango's show, Big Cheese Sports. Great Sunday morning show. Okay, so yes, I see you all in the chat. It is official. Yes, the Pirates did acquire Brian De La Cruz from the Marlins. Jen B has it confirmed for I don't know how to say that name, John Sake Shim and Garrett Forrester. Hey, Ben Sherrington, you just got another notch on my belt. Thank God you did that. Good for you. Good for the Pirates. Hopefully this trade works out. And as the break was on, my son also texted me saying that they did acquire Brian De La Cruz. So thanks again, everybody, for helping me out with that during the trade deadline while the show is going on. And thanks for tuning in. And let's get into my favorite sport, football, and your Pittsburgh Steelers, the black and gold. So today began practices in pads, and they had last week. They had I'll start with this. They started with They have a Hall of Fame, a Steelers Hall of Fame honor, and the 2024 Steelers Hall of Fame honor class this year is Casey Hampton, Super Bowl champion, Jason Gilden, who had the sacks record for the Steelers, believe it or not, Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator for the Super Bowl champions, and Willie Parker, the running back for the Super Bowl champions. So that's a nice little honoree class that they'll have going on in there in Pittsburgh this year for one of the games. I don't know what game it was. But training camp started last week, of course, and it started out on a sour note. Russell Wilson hurt his calf before the actual first practice when they went on the field without pads. So he was on the sidelines. Just he was in uniform. He had his shorts on and his shirt, but no helmet, and he was just like doing little exercising and little throws here and there. But Justin Fields took over the QB1 as expected, and he did all the first team reps with all the first team players. And let me tell you something, as you'll see as I go through what I'm going to talk about with the notes and everything. Justin Fields was looking pretty good, and he actually practiced today in pads. As Russell Wilson, he had his pads on, but again, it was very light. They were not rushing him into anything. And Justin Fields, from what I saw and what I was reading today, had his best day in camp as a Steeler quarterback. So I know, we've done prior shows, and I said I was going to watch out for the secondary in the camp because as you know, everybody knows I'm going to camp Thursday. I'm leaving Thursday morning from my area here in New York, and I'm heading out to Latrobe, and I'm changing my camp battle. I'm going to watch this quarterback situation for you guys because do you think the Steelers will actually pull the rug out from Russell Wilson and give the starting nod to Justin Fields? I mean, if you go back to last year, they did it to Kenny Pickett when he came back off the injury list. Remember what Mike Tomlin did? He pulled the rug out from Kenny Pickett real quick, and he started Mason Rudolph for the past 3 games and the playoff game. So I don't know. And if you look at some of the depth charts out there, you see where not the Steelers depth chart, but so you can't really go by this. But there are I don't want to mention the 4-letter word station because I don't like them. But like them and other people, they got Justin Fields listed as the QB1. I tell you, it's nuts. It's nuts. Chat is firing up today, guys. Thanks for joining in. Yes. Cal. Hey, Cal. How you doing, buddy? That's host of the Vegas show. All Vegas. Cal Henderson. Let's get it, Ralph. Yeah, we're getting it, man. And you got an amazing problem at quarterback. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, this is something to watch. It's going to be something to watch. I didn't expect this, but, hey, when, it's that old adage, when you get an injury and you can't perform and somebody gets in and gets a chance to take your place, they're going to go for it. They're going to step up. All right, so let's get into some notes from last week. I'm just going to throw these out there. I'm not going to delve into them. You could picture what I'm saying. Day one, like I said, they didn't practice in pads. There was tons of passes thrown to Pat Fryerman. Now, if you listen to the show last week with my son, he's going to be my star player for the Steelers this year. Good start for defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal. Supposedly, from what I seen, they had a couple of highlights. Yeah, he was pushing the line. He was doing really well. And of course, day one was watching Justin Fields, as they listed here on the Steeler report, QB number 1. George Pickens, the wide receiver, was being pushed by the wide receivers coach and was visibly upset after an exchange he had with the coach, Zach Arzini. So he said afterwards he wasn't upset. He said, bring it on. He wants it. He's going to have a special season this year. Like my son mentioned last week on the show, I believe that's going to happen. And cornerback Dante Jackson, he was all over the field. So that was day one. There's little notes from day one. Day two, let's get into it because Justin Fields, again, was at the top of the list there. He was throwing deep, and it was written that he was shining with the new offensive wrinkles. So that's good to see. It's a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator, and he's fitting in well so far. Wide receiver Roman Wilson, who I'll get into a little bit later what happened to him today at camp. He was perking up. That was one of the notes. Defensive lineman again, DeMarvin Leal. There he is again. And Beanie Bishop were stepping up. Again, go back to last week's show. My son's surprise player of the camp is going to be Beanie Bishop. If you remember, he said that last week. Next one was, it's very clear Arthur Smith and Zach Arzini, that's the aforementioned, we just mentioned him with the wide receivers coach, George Pickens, are bringing accountability to the offense. Now, this is something that's really good because there has been none the past 3 years for the Steelers. If you remember, Matt Canada was our offensive coordinator, and I got no clue what he was doing. And even before he left, the last 2 years, Big Ben was there, Ben Roethlisberger. Ben was calling all the plays. It wasn't Matt Canada. So this is great. Now the offensive coordinator they're diving in there, and the coaches are diving in there, and they're holding everyone accountable. Because what happened was also what I read is during the camp, if any of the players went off sides, they had to run laps around the campus there. That's accountability. Hey, it's training camp. Remember what I said in the show, training camp, 2 big words. All right, day 3. They were showing love to quarterback. This is the backup quarterback who's backing up, I guess, Justin Fields now while Russell Wilson is healing. Kyle Allen. He came from Buffalo. Linebacker Patrick Queen is the flats eraser. What that means is he was covering, I guess, a lot of guys out of the backfield, and he was making all the plays. Again, Roman Wilson, wide receiver, comes alive. So he perked up the first day, and he came alive the second day. Good days and performances was written for Darius Rush and outside linebacker Kayron Johnson. And quiet starts for tight end Darnell Washington and cornerback Corey Trice. All right, well, Darnell Washington has to get in there. We need him. And day 4, again, starts off. These other notes started off. Good start for Justin Fields, but not a good finish. All right, guy, you're going to be perfect all training camp. Far too many offensive line penalties. Like I said, they made him run laps. Refs were on site. So they had refs on site, and they weren't even in pads. Wide receiver Quez Watkins stepped it up. And linebacker Peyton Wilson, quick to the ball and finishing plays. I'll give you a comment that he made after the camp was over for the last day. And there was another one posted that I saw. Roman Wilson, the wide receiver, after 4 practices, led the Steelers in catches, yards, and he was 3rd in targets. We'll get into it now, being that we're talking about him. He got hurt today in camp. They carted him. Well, he walked off the field. It was an ankle injury, according to Tomlin, because I listened to his press conference before I came on. And they're still evaluating to determine the length of they're still determining the severity of the injury and the length that he might be out. So I don't know, right there, when he's saying length of being out, he's going to be out for a while. Let's hope he didn't break his ankle and maybe it's just a severe twist or something. But he had a great first week. He led the Steelers in catches, yards, and he was 3rd in targets. I think George Pickens was first. Pat Freiermuth was first in targets from what I read. Yeah. And now let's go on. They released another cornerback. This has been happening week after week. They've been releasing cornerbacks left and right. I said this in a prior show. I think they have who they want picked to be in the secondary. They released veteran slot cornerback Josiah Scott due to undrafted free agent Beanie Bishop. Is that guy again? Remember last week what my son said, who received most of the first team slot reps in the first 4 practices. I think my son's hit a home run with this guy. Oh, man. Oh, now this is the best. This is the best part of the first week. Here's what Peyton Wilson said when they interviewed him and they said his first camp and how everything was going. He said, enough of the underwear practices. Let's put the pad on and see who wants to get it. Oh, my God. Does that not pump you up? Enough with the underwear practices. That's because they had no pads on. Peyton Wilson says he's ready and wants to see who else is. This kid might be the steal of the draft for us at linebacker. Which brings me to another point. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to bring it up because on IE Sports Radio here, we have our public relations department, IE Sports Radio. They do a great job. They put out snippets of all the shows. I believe it's hashtag IESR SNIPTS snippets. Okay, and I watch everyone's show, and I go to everyone's show, and I watch all the snippets. Great job done by Angela, the PR director, along with Larry B, of course. And I came across one of Peach Empire Sports with Ice Ray. He was talking about, I guess, game 1 versus the Steelers. Okay, and he went on to say, he started at, the snippet started out by him saying the Steelers, he doesn't see the Steelers wide receivers scaring the secondary of the Falcons because they don't even have a number 1 guy, and their number 2 guy is Van Jefferson, and that's not scaring anybody. Okay, I give you that. Then he went on to say that the Falcons wide receivers are going to give trouble to the Steelers secondary, although he did say Joey Porter Jr. is a great cornerback and Minka Fitzpatrick is a great safety, but he feels Drake London and Kyle Pitts, their tight end, can do the job versus our secondary. Okay. Then this is the one that got me. It's been sticking in my craw since I listened to it. And he said that he got into the Steelers linebackers, and he said that is a weak part of the Steelers team, the Steelers linebacker, and Bijan Robinson will be running out of the backfield now that they have a quarterback to throw him the ball. And I guess he was trying to say that being that our linebackers are weak, he was going to be, doing his thing. Well, there's a show on IE Sports Radio that's going on now, hosted by Larry B, and it's called 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days. Larry B, awesome job, by the way. He has a part on that show called Stick It To Him. Larry B, if I must, can I do a Stick It To Him to Ice Ray from Peach Empire Sports about my Steeler linebackers? He's giving me the thumbs up. All right, here we go. Mr. Ice Ray from Peach Empire Sports. I'm giving you some due time on my show here, man. Listen, I will put these Steeler linebackers up against the Super Bowl champion Steeler linebackers in the 70s, okay? You're talking about T.J. Watt, Patrick Queen, Alondon Roberts, and don't forget Alex Highsmith, who is the underrated guy on the linebackers. You mean to tell me that you feel that Bijan Robinson is just going to run all over the Steeler linebackers? I think you better go back and look and see who the Steeler linebacking core is. You better go take a look, because I'll give you your other 2 points about the wide receivers and the secondary with your guys. But let me tell you something. You're totally wrong about the Steeler linebackers. And I had to get that out there. And another thing is don't forget that game, Arthur Smith that's coming back to Atlanta. And I was thinking about it because you got me with that. And I give it to you. Thumbs up to you. Arthur Smith, don't forget, knows every person on that offense. So you don't think that he knows their weaknesses? he is not only going to be the offensive coordinator for that game in Atlanta, he's going to be the defensive coordinator for that game in Atlanta because he knows all those offensive players on Atlanta. Not Kirk Cousins. That's a whole other story. But hey, well, Kirk Cousins ain't the fleetest of quarterbacks in the NFL, as we know, right? We'll see. We'll see. I have game one circled for sure now. But Ice Ray, thank you, man. Thank you for that snippet. You got me going. You got some time on my show, and I appreciate it. And hopefully you hear this. Maybe I can hear a response on your show. But that was my stick it to him to Ice Ray from Peach Empire Sports. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, I have some insane things I looked up on Sidney Crosby. He's got some records coming up that he could possibly have in this year coming up, 2024-25. And I'll go over them. And if you want, you throw in the chat there, or if you want, you can reach out to me on X Twitter at KhalisR786 or the Yinzer Report _IE. And you give me what you think he'll come through and do. All right, so let's take a break. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? This is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yell, and if you are looking for sports takes that live a mile above the rest, look no further than Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Want to talk about NBA MVPs and champions? Yeah, that's us. Perhaps a baseball team that no matter how they play, you just can't quit them? Yep, we've got that too. What about Stanley Cups, NHL award winners in the burgundy and blue? Got it. How about Buffaloes that run, pass, shoot, dunk? You bet. For all things Colorado sports, look no further than right here every Sunday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. Because if that light is red and the kids are in bed, you are listening to Mile High Musings, where we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos. Stay good, sports fans.
All right. Wow. Welcome back to IE Sports Radio's Yinzer Report. It's me, your host, Ralph Khalis, your direct feed for all that is sports. Sorry, I got a little flustered there. You guys should only know what's going on behind the scenes here, but hey, we'll take it. All right, let me, before I get into the Sidney Crosby thing, let's just go to the chat. There's some interesting comments in the chat there. My buddy Danny Man says the G in George Pickens stands for get him the damn ball. I like that. Larry chimed in. That's right. The game ain't played with shirts and shorts. Let's get them pads on and battle. Larry, you, if anybody, would know that. You were in college playing football. Danny put, uh-oh. Yeah, I know. I mentioned to Danny that I was going to bring that up with Peach Empire Sports with Ice Ray. He was laughing when I told him about that. And Larry chimed in again. Ralph is taking notes on other shows. Hey, Larry, I take my Pittsburgh Steelers to heart. You know that. And you're going to talk about my linebackers. I'm sorry. I think we get the best linebackers in the NFL. I don't care about the rest of the team. We got the best linebackers in the NFL. All right, so let's get into Sidney Crosby. So the past couple of weeks I've been mentioning here and there about things that are coming up for Sidney Crosby. Of course, Penguins are still working on a contract to basically sign him to finish the rest of his career in Pittsburgh. But I came across something the other day, and it said Sidney Crosby chasing records. And I happened to just look at what they said, and then I went back and looked to see how far off these may happen. So there are 5 of them for Sidney Crosby coming up. So this is Sidney Crosby chasing these records for 2024-25. The first one that I saw was most points per game seasons. Okay, Crosby right now is 8th at 1.25. Like I said, he's 8th on the list. 1.25. Wayne Gretzky is first at 1.92. That seems pretty gettable. The second one was most consecutive points per game in a season. Crosby and Gretzky both are tied at 19. So all he needs is one more run, and he's got that one. The third one was most points by a 37-year-old. He needs 100 points to tie Joe Sakic, and 101 points to have the records. He's got to put up a big season to have that. This one I had mentioned on a prior show, most face-off wins ever, which I found very interesting. That's Patrice Bergeron has the record. So Patrice Bergeron has 15,182 face-off wins, and on 1,294 games played. Crosby has 14,648, and on 1,272 games played. So he needs 534 face-off wins to tie him, and 535 face-off wins to have the record. That one might be a little tough, but there usually are a lot of face-offs in hockey, so who knows? And then the last one was most assists in the Penguins history. Crosby's at 1,004, and of course, Super Mario Lemieux, number 66, had 1,033. Crosby needs 29 to tie and 30 for the Penguins record. So those are the ones. Ones, in my opinion, I could see him getting is number 1, most points per game seasons. I think he could definitely do that. Number 2, most consecutive point per game seasons. He's definitely going to do that because he's already tied with Gretzky, so he needs to do that once. And I think number 5 is definitely gettable. Most assists in Penguins history. I think he could come up with 29 and 30 assists this season for the Penguins. So keep an eye on that. I don't know. Maybe hopefully you wrote those down and you could follow them. But I'll keep you updated on them. I'm going to put this page I wrote out on the side, and we'll get into that a little more. So all right. So Ben Cherington made that trade for Brian De La Cruz. That's a good sign. So now the Pirates have another bat. Hopefully they get back Brian Reynolds soon, because he is the main bat in that lineup. And I've been seeing things all over MLB Network and all that if the Pirates make the playoffs, their announcers are saying that nobody wants to go up against the big 3 buccos. That'll be in a 3-game series, or a 3 out of 5 game series, or 2 out of 3 game series. You don't want to be facing Jared Jones, Paul Skeens, or Mitch Keller. So Ben Cherington, if you did the right thing, you got us a bat. Let's see where it takes us. With 2 games, we're still 2 games out of the last playoff spots. We still have a little work to do. We got to start getting some of the players that are injured back. Jared Jones being one of them. And like I said, Brian Reynolds is on the bereavement list, so he's got to get back. And we'll see where we go with De La Cruz. I wonder if he was happy he's out of Miami. See what happens. But he's coming to the Berg. And my new favorite expression is Bucktober baseball. Bucktober meaning October baseball, which is the playoffs. So how exciting will that be coming up in October if that happens? All right, so guys, we're at Tuesday, Thursday. I'm leaving, going to Latrobe. Me, my best friend, my brother, Paul Gregory Lapani, and my son are going to training camp. Thursday we'll be driving. We'll be traveling there Thursday, so I won't have anything Thursday. But we'll get right into it Friday. Friday is the night practice in the school in Latrobe in the city of Latrobe Memorial Stadium. I explained it to you. They do the night practice. They come on the field. They sign autographs for 15 minutes. They do all kinds of practice things on the field and everything, and it's just a great time. It's a great time. That'll be the first, and then I got the practices Saturday and Sunday in the afternoon. Remember now they changed the times. On the weekends it's 2:30 practices, where on the weekdays it's 10:30 in the morning. Like today they ran into a little bit of a weather delay coming down. It was raining. I mean, not pouring raining, but when they finished the practice, they all got settled back where they had to be. It started pouring. So my son is being the weather forecaster for the trip, and he's already sending me bad news for Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And of course, if there's thunderstorms and all that, they don't let anybody on the field or anything, or the stadium. So we'll see what happens with that. We're heading out, like I said, Thursday. I'll be back coming home Monday, so I will be back for Tuesday's show next week. And I'm hoping to have a lot of good stuff for you guys. We'll see what happens, and this will be my 27th year, as everybody knows. Very excited to go. And football is here. Football is here. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. So don't forget, today is Tuesday. I have a couple of more shows coming up. Like I said, Jen B is next. She's coming up with the Show of the Land in Cleveland. Then you have Patty Bax, the Buffalo Huddle. And you got Philly Sports Talk with Bobby and Cash. I think the neutral zone is off now for a couple of weeks or until hockey season starts. And then you have Kale coming on with the Vegas Sports Show at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. All right, so Pittsburgh, enjoy your night. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. The chat people, Danny, thank you very much again. Taryn Rodriguez, thank you very much. Brandon, thank you very much. Jen B, as always, thank you very much. My nephew James, thank you very much. Always Arizona Sports, thanks for tuning in. Jen B, Mr. Cowboy, Larry, of course, thanks for producing again, buddy. You're the best. And, Cal. Guys, it's been a blast today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Great job out there by everybody. Don't forget Pittsburgh. Pirates are playing tonight. They're in Houston. The only game in town right now, so let's see how pumped up they are tonight after that trade. Ben Cherington, guess he went to bat for us. We got him. Got a guy. Got a bat. And Steeler training camp tomorrow again. I'm heading out. 27th year. Can't wait. And Pittsburgh, thank you so much again. I love you guys. This is Ralph Felice with the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night. Love you guys. Thank you very much.